Let's go to it.
Bill. Hey y'all, it's your girl Lauren Lifestyle here, back on Stay Lit TV. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and getting back with your girl. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I'm so honored and happy to welcome our guest, Tuesday here, who is a creator and creative person in everything that she does. She's a photographer, she's a videographer, she helps all creators really inspire themselves and truly find the light within themselves to achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. Please bring a welcome to her as she serves the guest on this episode. I'm so excited to dig deep into what she has to say, and most importantly, just to feel her energy, because it is so fulfilling, and I'm very honored to have you as a guest. So, as we get into it, my girl, please just share with the world, as I know who you are, but I really want you to share with the world of who Tuesday is, how have you came about, and what is it that you do?
For sure. So thank you so much for having me, first of all. My name is Tuesday Foster. Um, I do photography, videography. I own my own business, as you know, called the Weekday Productions. And on top of that, I actually have a collective, which is called the Weekday Collective, to where I help different creatives, whether it's models, photographers, videographers, or honestly just small creative business owners, um, like you said, inspire and to be themselves. Another thing that I do, to be honest, y'all, I have so many God-given talents, so I'm really grateful. But really quick, singing, dancing, drawing, painting, the list just goes on. But all grace to God, all thanks to God, all thanks to God.
Absolutely. And I really love that. My favorite thing about you is that I really love the passion that and dedication that you put behind creating a space for creators to be authentically themselves. And it's not just geared towards a certain geographic, that's the right word,
Yeah, geographic.
of creators, like only if you paint, or only if you do photography, or only if you do the specific thing, or even if you do those specific things, specific genre or specific theme or different specific style. You really welcome anything and anybody that really is aligned with what you believe in and is genuine, and you create space for them to be themselves. And most importantly, you help others connect to other people. And I think that's very important because, again, I feel like as a creator that my job is to be myself, and being myself inspires other people. And just having that space to organically, authentically share who we are, what we do, our goals, our aspirations, and also the barriers that we come across, and having that safe space to talk about it is so important. So as we get into those barriers that we do have as creators, especially as women creators, I really want you to share some insight on you being a dominant lesbian female in this industry. What has your experiences been like as you have navigated that?
Well, first, to be honest, the experience of just being a woman, on top of the experience of being Black, on top of the experience of being a lesbian, it's really challenging. But I'm really, really grateful for that task that God gave me. What I want to do is show up in the space. And for someone else who might be just like me, looking at me like, oh my God, like you did it, like we have somebody that's representing us. And that's exactly what I want to be. On top of that, I've been in a space where people didn't choose me, or people told me to hone down what I do. And it's like, if God blessed you with 50 talents, you need to be doing all 50 of them. Just period. Like, don't belittle yourself, or don't hone yourself in because someone else is saying like, oh, it's too much. Because there is too much might just be it's just a little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you got the sauce, you have the sauce. And like I mentioned before, being a lesbian creator, just in general, like, it gives me this avenue to come from a different perspective that most people don't have. And that also gets me into the spaces with the boys, and I'm in the spaces with the girls, and everybody feel comfortable. So that's something that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, I really love that it gives you an advantage, and you don't see it as a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Even if some people try to put that stigma onto you, you really embrace that space. And I think that's very important, that we know who we are. And I think that that's like the biggest thing that we could do as a person, and to not allow people to dim our light is if you truly know who you are. So could you share with us a little bit about what has the work looked like for Tuesday to truly know who you are, so you can be that person that stands 10 toes down of like, this is what I do and I'm not changing it or conforming to whatever it is that you're trying to conform me to?
Oh, that's a good question. First, getting rid of distractions. I feel like sometimes, whether it's relationships, whether it's habits, just different things, it gets in our way and it stops our purpose. Honestly, getting rid of those distractions and stripping yourself back to the basics. That's what I call it. Let's go back to the basics. What do you want? How do we get there? What is it going to take? Are you willing to do it? Because that's really an important question. Are you willing to do what it takes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then getting to that point, just to fulfill whatever like you set your heart out to do. That's really what got me here. Also, don't get me wrong, like I feel like a lot of people think that success is just this straight up climb. It's really not. You have ups and downs, you wax and wane, literally, just like the moon type shit. So, you know, yeah. Basically just keep going, to be honest. Like no matter what you go through, keep going, keep doing the work on yourself, journal, go to church. To be honest, man, God, thank you, Lord. And I thank him so much. And it's just because like going to church has allowed me to do the work that I needed on myself, that I didn't even know that needed to be done.
Yeah.
So it's like
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing is this community. And community may look different for everybody. And so I think we should have community within ourselves, you know, that relationship within ourselves to be able to, you know, bounce back ideas off of, and to, like you said, go back to the basics, have a reference point of this is where I'm going, this is where I've been, and this is where I am. And that community starts within ourselves, and the community outside of us to hold us accountable of this is where I am, this is where I want to go. And so someone can navigate and help you, support you get to that point. But most importantly, also uplift you and encourage you, because, you know, even though we have a community within ourselves, sometimes we can exist in a confusion state or delusional state. So we need someone to help us be like, hey, like you're tripping, or hey, you know, stay focused. And so that community within outside of ourselves, but most importantly, the foundation also starts with the community of God and that relationship with God, and understanding the blueprint that he has for your individual life and not comparing it to what other people may have. And I think that's where a lot of the stigmatism comes in, where a lot of people have this idea of what they think something should be. But my God and our God has this idea that this is the plan that I have for you, and it's going to look different for everybody else.
for instance, not to even cut you off, a lot of people think because I'm a lesbian, I'm not welcome into the space of God.
Yeah.
And I never feel that way. Like when I pray to God, or when I go to him on my behalf, or when I go to church, I do not feel wrong. I'm going to just be honest. So like they say, embracing who you are, and also knowing how to filter through the BS. It's like everything that's said is not for you. So don't take it in like a sponge, to be honest. Like, don't sponge it in like that. Take what's for you, and what's not, throw it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I literally live my life by that. But like I said, I am a strong woman of God. I walk by faith, not by sight, to be honest. And like, my journey is continuing with him, lesbian or not a lesbian, to be honest. Like, wherever God leads me, you know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. I think that's very important that you share that. And I definitely feel like there should be a space to talk and embrace that, and understanding that, like you said, not feeling like you're not welcome based off of what you identify with, regardless of what other people's opinions or thoughts may be about that. And I'm sure that is very hard to navigate as you are trying to be authentically yourself, but also integrate in other areas that you may want to integrate into. And so as we continue to learn about who Tuesday is, like, what are your goals? What are you trying to get towards with the weekday productions and the weekday collective and the work that you do as a creator?
Ooh, girl, that's a whole lot. Shoot, hold up. Nah, for real. My goals right now. First, I'm rebranding. I do want to start helping more small businesses, like you mentioned. but creative businesses. So maybe it's like, your modeling business or something like that, but just giving good advice, helping them with content. Also, something else I want to do with the weekday is do more collaborations with models, but not just do basic shoots. So now I've been doing production shoots. So what that is I will have a creative director. I'm going to have a videographer. I'm going to have a BTS photographer on set because I want the models to see what it's like to be inside of the industry.
Yeah.
Right now, I may not be at the top of the industry, but if you create that space for people, you're going to be there soon because it's something that you're already doing.
Yeah.
So I consider myself my own celebrity. I am my own celebrity. The people that I work with, they are my celebrities.
Yeah.
Just because we make ourselves that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. I really like that. Again, not conforming to a stigma of meeting certain requirements to be considered a celebrity.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna lie to ya.
You a
When
celebrity,
When
though.
I step out, I feel like, who that is? That's lifestyle. Yes. And it's more so of how you carry yourself,
Yes.
not necessarily because, to be honest, when I think or look at celebrities, I'm not what's the word I'm looking for? A fan or put someone higher on a pedestal because I look at them as like, you're a person, I'm a person. If you can do it, I can do it.
Right.
And so the only difference between me and you right now is you're where I may want to be, but I'm still capable of getting there.
Yes.
I think when we put people on a pedestal and we fangirl them or we put them inferior the more what we are, we're saying like, you're somewhere I can't be. And because I don't look at people like that, baby, we is on the same level.
Same level.
You just may have a little bit more than what I have, but that doesn't mean that I'm not capable of obtaining it. And so when we put them on high on a pedestal, that's me saying that I'm not capable of obtaining it, so you're above me. And I don't put anybody above
that. And also, when you walk into the room, no matter where you're at, act like you belong there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to voice my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you know what I think because this is my expertise.
Yeah.
And this is what I love.
Yeah.
It's not always for money.
Yeah.
Sometimes your opinion opens up opportunity because people value it and they see, oh my God, this person has vision.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have vision. So own it. If you sit in a meeting that you don't know nothing about, own it. I know everything.
Listen, okay? And I think that's so big because as I've shared on a few bit on the past, just to share a little bit like how I got this show, y'all, I in my mind, I believe I could do anything. And so if someone asks me directly, can you do something? I'm going to say yes because I can do it. The question is, do I want to do it? And so when this show came about, they're like, okay, we gave you a test run. Do you want to do it? Or they looked at it as, can you do it? Yes, I can. They said, do you think you're capable of being a TV host? Yes, I can. Yeah. Have I ever done it? No, I have not. But can I do it? Absolutely. And that led to other opportunities. And so you never want to dim your light because you haven't done something. There ain't nothing that you could put in front of me and say, I'm going to still try it and I'm going to do my 100% best because I have the confidence within me internally that is going to come out of me and express it everything that I touch, regardless of if I have the experience or not.
And that is what you call the sauce. Some people always ask me, I talk about sauce real quick. That is sauce. Sauce is being able to walk in the room and make people smile to create opportunity for yourself. Do you have the sauce?
Do you have the sauce? So that's what we're going to leave y'all with, okay? Y'all going to come back for more. Ask yourselves, do you have the sauce that creates opportunity whether you're in the room or not? We'll be back. Alright, y'all, we are back again with Stay Lit with your girl Lauren Lifestyle. And we are here again with Tuesday, and we're going to continue on our amazing conversation as we dive deep into entrepreneurship, being a woman, being a Black woman. and just navigating the industry.
Yes.
And most importantly, existing in that space with the foundation of God.
Yeah.
And so before the break, we were really just getting into the work that you have to do as a person eternally
Yes.
to build that confidence so you can exist in spaces. Because again, if you don't do the work internally to have that confidence, it's going to be so easy to knock you down.
That part.
You're gonna be easily discouraged.
That part.
You're easily going to feel like imposter syndrome. You're easily going to experience like, is this for me? But if you have the confidence, even if you're on your bad days,
Yes.
the bad days won't stay long.
Wow.
And you will always get back up and remind yourself of who you are and who you were created to be on this earth.
Yes, Lord.
So let's talk into, this TV show is really, I don't want to hear about the glory. I want to hear about your story.
For sure.
I want to hear about the bad stuff.
The best?
Because a lot of people
Okay.
challenges. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm so successful. I've done it." I love that for you. But people don't be transparent enough about what did you have to get through to get to that point.
Okay, so let me just start a little bit. I'm gonna take y'all back without trying to take y'all back too far to the point where when I was born, because I remember a lot. Anyways.
You remember you was born?
Yeah,
Like
girl.
when you came out your mama coochie?
I popped out that thing like, stop playing. But nah, for real. What I went through to get here. To be honest, I'm gonna highlight this. I went through a really bad relationship. And I'm only bringing this up because people don't realize the people you associate with, they will really like either drain your energy or they will help you gain energy. And in the situation that I was in, it was draining my energy. But it did help me in so many ways as well to find out who I was as a person. Then on top of that, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Like, you hear me all day, 504. But it's murder capital. And what that people don't ever tell you about the PTSD that you gain from actually living in a place like that. I can call home right now, and y'all, I'm not joking or making like a dark joke for real or being dramatic, but it's like somebody that passed away. Like, I done called my mom and like we on the phone for an hour and 30 minutes and she just slip it in there because she know how I feel about it. But it's stuff like that. I live in Dallas now. Police pass by, I catch panic attacks. Or just ambulances pass by, I catch panic attacks. Like, people don't talk about those things. And to be honest, it's serious. It's something that I think we should be more aware of. And I think it's something that we should talk more about. So if you don't have anyone to talk about, get you a therapist, get you a good friend. You need to really let that type of stuff out. But since I'm healing from that, um, what I'm going through now is like honestly maintaining my weight or maintaining a certain weight. Um, really transitioning my mind to go through the physical changes they need to go through to be consistent in the gym. Because I'm realizing as you change your physique, you're really changing your mind.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't want to go through the surgery route or whatever the case may be. I want to do it and I want to train my mind because the greater my mind is, the greater my business, the greater my life, the greater the way I think, the greater life is, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm at with it.
Yeah, they definitely say if you want to change your life, you got to change your mind. You got to change your thoughts.
You do?
And me being a trauma therapist and all, My background in neuroscience really stemmed from understanding the impact and the development of our mind and the role that it plays in the behaviors that we decide to make on a day-to-day basis. And me living in New Orleans, I lived there for 8 or 9 years, and I would say I've experienced a lot of things prior to that, but living in New Orleans was probably the most traumatic thing that I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And even thinking about it gets me emotional because I've never experienced so much death. And it wasn't
You were
even
losing students like every week.
Yes.
Like I'm not even joking. Like
it came to a point where I would walk in the school and I could feel it. Like they wouldn't even have to tell me that somebody died. I could feel it in my spirit.
Yeah.
That we were going to have a conversation that so and so got killed. Either so and so got killed or so and so got locked up. And it was, and again, I didn't have any family in New Orleans, and so just to experience so much death around me,
Yes.
and to be in a space of where, like, in certain areas, I don't stop at stop signs, I don't stop at stoplights, I don't get gas at certain areas. And so it was just a different experience.
Yes.
That definitely opened up my eyes, and I think about, why I moved from New Orleans to Houston, and just the mind shift that it allowed me to exist in. Because if you are in a space where you constantly have to worry about your physical and mental health, how can you have the mental capacity to think about your dreams, your aspirations, your goals? Living in those environments naturally will stress you out.
Yeah.
And you have to prioritize your safety over what it is that you need to do to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And so living in an environment, not only physically, but also people around you, does definitely play a big role in the mental capacity and the mental desires that you would have to even know, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, and this is how I can get there. Instead of worrying about, where am I going to sleep at night? If I do go to sleep, what's going to happen? Will I wake up, will my car be broken into? If I wake up, will I experience a robbery?
Like, it got to the point where I was living with my mom down there because I couldn't find a good job, to be honest. Like, I work at T-Mobile now, and I have my own business, of course. But it's like I couldn't find a consistent job, something that's gonna pay me, what I get paid in Dallas. So it was really discouraging. But it got to the point where I couldn't even sit in my own car to like just relax or just meditate outside of my house.
Yeah.
My mom would give me warnings like, you shouldn't be sitting out there.
Yeah.
It's like when you're living in a neighborhood where you shouldn't be sitting outside in front of your house in your car.
Yeah.
It's like it's time to leave. My spirit was really gaining on me heavy to leave. And since I've left, I've met so many people. I do miss my family. I do. I'm a very family oriented person. I am an only child type situation. So I value my family a lot. I miss them. But I don't miss, like you said, worrying about my mental health every day, worrying about my well being, worrying about who died today.
Yeah.
Like, now I get to worry about my future, my dreams, and I get to build myself. So, yeah.
Yeah. You definitely have to create space for you to thrive, because naturally, as humans, we are created to survive.
Yes.
You have to really teach yourself mentally and physically how to thrive. In order to do that, you have to do that in thriving environments. Otherwise, you're always going to exist in a space where you're surviving mentally and physically. And if you can't get your basic needs met, again, on the hierarchies of needs, you're not going to be able to elevate in other areas of your life.
Yes.
To be able to fully embrace who you are and to fully reveal that potential that you have within yourself, because you're constantly having to worry about, again, your basic needs. Everyone deserves a safe space, a space to exist and to walk down the street and not have to look over your shoulders, or not have to, have that constant worry that's chasing behind you of like something is going to happen to yourself or your loved ones or your friends. And that is very scary. And, the unfortunate thing about it is New Orleans is such a beautiful city.
Culture wise.
It is so beautiful.
Yes.
And it has so much richness in it.
Yeah.
And it's being drowned and diminished by the trauma that exists in it. It's not necessarily the people, is that a lot of people there have experienced so much trauma, and there is not the lack of support. Also, the lack of support, but also creating a space to accept the support.
Yes.
And opportunities that allow people to see bigger than what they see just right there with it.
To be honest, it's like Stockholm syndrome in a way.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's like, you guys are treating me bad, but I'm used to this, so I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
Because I can't move anywhere else. I'm used to the
like
culture here. I'm used to this. I'm used to that. And it's, to be honest, my parents suffer from it, to be honest. And I say suffer, and that's not always a bad thing, because people in New Orleans have something that other people really don't, and that's resilience. And that's also, we know how to stick together
Yeah.
and be a community.
Yes.
And as I moved away, I don't really see that out here.
Yeah.
Like when you have to swim together because something gonna happen, it's a difference.
Yeah.
And also being, like I said, like before, being a lesbian, it makes me present myself in a certain way when I'm home. And what I mean by that is I have to present myself as the protector. I have to present myself like this. Like when I'm out in Dallas, like I present myself as me, as Tuesday. Like I am still a woman. I still can do X, Y, and Z. And I be looked at a certain way or feel threatened that my honestly, like my health or anything, like, just is threatened by that.
Yeah.
To be honest. So it's like you have to show up in the space like totally different than everyone else. And on top of that, like I have different expectations that's taken on from women.
Yeah.
From their own traumas and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I definitely agree with just being presented, but something that you said that I don't ever want to take away from New Orleans is that community part.
Yeah.
Even me not being there, I consider New Orleans my second home, and that truly means a lot. Like I naturally integrated within the city and just met so many amazing people, and they till this day, like if I go to New Orleans, I could call a lot of people and like have a place to stay, and they would see me as family. And so that's something that I truly embrace and admire about New Orleans is their ability to maintain community and family despite the trauma and the hurt and the pain that exists in the space. Is that they are ride or die. Everybody call everybody TD. Everybody is family. Everyone's family stays within the same block.
For real.
It's just it and when I go back there, everybody knows who I am, and they feel truly safe with me, even if I'm not from there. They're like, "You in New Orleans now?" So that is what a lot of places do lack, and that is what keeps New Orleans at a level that it is now, despite the trauma and the pain and the devastation that occurs there. That the resilience comes from community, and the community is so strong there.
But let me say this, bro. Just because we're resilient people
doesn't mean that we don't hurt.
That doesn't mean that we don't hurt, and that doesn't mean that we deserve the things that are happening to our people.
Yeah.
Because we don't.
Just because we don't show it doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Just because our culture, we get over anything and we overcome everything.
Your lines, even if something happens.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. That doesn't mean that there's still pain behind that smile.
Seriously. And that doesn't mean that we're not great. That doesn't mean that we don't have potential. That doesn't mean that New Orleans doesn't have a future. Like, I am the future. She's the future. Even though she's not from there, like, Lauren embraced New Orleans. And, like, that's why I met Lauren, just in general, and her greatness, literally. And honestly, New Orleans builds character. It shows you where to go when you have nowhere else to go. Like, you have to build up.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely forces you in a space to where you have to build up.
Yeah.
And always embrace that. Don't run away from it.
Oh.
Like a lot of people will come to New Orleans and they're not used to that environment. They would run from it instead of trying to find the beauty and also see what it is that you can learn.
Yeah.
Like I would say I've definitely went through so many trials and tribulations there, but I'm grateful and I show gratitude towards that because it just, one, it gave me empathy to a lot of things that I probably would have never seen, but also it changed something within me internally that allowed me to grow.
No, definitely most of. And I agree with everything you said, to be honest. Like, New Orleans is why I'm able to be the entrepreneur, the Tuesday, the whatever you see me as that I am today.
Yeah, absolutely. So embrace those challenges and always trying to find the light within them. And even if it feels bad now, it will always turn around. It doesn't always rain and it's not always a flood. Eventually the flood goes away. Eventually the rain stops. And there's always a rainbow that comes after. There's always sunshine that comes after that. So stay focused on that. And the best thing to do that is with the community. So y'all find y'all community, find that eternal community within yourself, find that relationship within yourself as well as with God and allow that to lead your way.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate y'all for showing love to Stay Lit. I can't wait to for y'all to see the next episode.
Stop playing.
Bye.